So greetings everyone and welcome to Saturday's Power Time practice here on Saturday the 13th of January. And what am I looking at? I'm looking at our AstroVed calendar. Everyone should get this calendar. It is such a handy tool, especially for Power Time practice people. And even if you're not a regular student who comes and listens to this program, this calendar is like your roadmap to your everyday life. So welcome to everyone who's joining for the first time, and those of you who've been following Dr. Pillai's teachings over the years, welcome. This is a great time to come together. My name is Sucharita, and we'll be joined today by Radha, who is our Vedic astrologer. She's also been a student and teacher at Pillai Center of Dr. Pillai's for, my gosh, a long time. So we've been around a while, and we love sharing the teachings, and we love especially sharing about how you can make the most out of your time and how you can be in the right place at the right time, thinking, saying, and doing the right time, or the right thing. And that is how we use our time wisely. We will have this energy or this intelligence that we are exposed to or we tap into unknowingly or hopefully knowingly as we go along. And we can grab onto that energy, that intelligence that is behind time. And so how we measure time is how the sun, the moon, the stars, the different planets travel around our lovely earth that we call home, and then we are on this earth and we are impacted by all these intelligent beings. So the ancient seers of Vedic times, they followed these celestial bodies, these energies that were showing up in their meditations and also in everyday life by things that were happening, and we couldn't explain them, or they couldn't explain them because they didn't have internet. They didn't have all the knowledge that we have right now. So we're kind of tapping into the energy of time to understand that this is eternal time. So it's not just the ticking of the hands on the clock of the going around every minute or every second, every minute, every hour, every day, week, month, and year. That's time going by as we measure it, but there's something special behind each moment. So if we can get that knowledge and not only just have it for an intellectual understanding, but we actually tap into the energy, then we are using our time wisely. So Radha, without further ado, would you like to share a little bit about how the sun is impacting us, and then how this transit that's coming up to tomorrow, I believe, right? I will leave it to you. Please go ahead.
Okay, great. Good morning, everyone, and afternoon. Yeah, so we're on the eve of the big sun transit into Capricorn. It's happening tomorrow at about 3:30 in the morning Eastern time. And it's pretty big because we call this as a Vedic winter solstice. It's like the dawn in heaven. It just means that from now on, for the next 6 months, the sun is going to be moving northward through the zodiac. And this just means that it's a better time to make progress with your manifestations and to make progress on your goals. And it's also really a time of renewal and reawakening. From now on, every day is going to have a little bit more daylight here in the northern hemisphere, at least. We're going to have more activity. The sun is gaining power. So this is actually a great time to tomorrow, especially, to pray to the sun and to express gratitude for because the sun really makes life force available to us. It gives us it's giving us a rejuvenating energy. And sun gives us higher intelligence, and because the sun shines on everyone equally, whether you're rich or poor, whether you speak one language or another, it's like it's really giving universal blessings. And tomorrow, being the sun's day, because it's literally Sunday. It'll be especially powerful to express that gratitude with the sun. You may want to chant his mantra, the Gayatri mantra, and we'll be doing practices later on. Maybe we'll practice that. So this is a good time with Sun in Capricorn. So, Capricorn is like the 10th house of the zodiac in general. And so it has to do with our profession and, what we put our energy towards, what we manifest in this lifetime. So this is a great time to really energize your goals, be clear about what your goals are, because Capricorn gives you the ability to really materialize them, to move it from the idea to the actual material manifestation that you're going towards. You may have to take a lot of action and maybe even work hard and have patience, but you will make progress and you will materialize those goals. So if your projects have been on hold, this may be the time to restart your projects. Now Capricorn, it's a sign that has to do with ancient past life knowledge and abilities. Also, you could also call it as ancient past life karma. So Capricorn, having Sun lighting up Capricorn, you may become more aware of some past skills that you have developed in past lives that at this time, they can come back and be like a strength for you, of something that you can, that can come easily for you, and that you can really develop further. You may find ancient past life karmas coming up that may not be exactly what you want. Well, that's okay, because actually today is one of the most powerful days of the year for dissolving karma. And Sucharita is going to be guiding us through a demonstration of just how we can take advantage of this time to dissolve like the most stubborn blockages and karmic patterns and old thoughts. So one other interesting thing is that Sun, Venus, and Ketu are all going to be in Capricorn together for most of this next month. And so this is really bringing in a lot of energy and where we can take action, be active in creating prosperity. Dr. Pillai is putting a lot of emphasis on Shrim Brazi, ultimate mantra for wealth. And so this is just going to support us even further to continue our practice with Shrim Brazi and until our soul really vibrates with that wealth and prosperity and goddess consciousness. And having Ketu, the saintly planet there, it's a reminder that this wealth consciousness is very much compatible with spiritual evolution and enlightenment. And that's what a lot of goddess consciousness teaches us, is that there's no incompatibility between spirituality and wealth. So as we start off this next month with Sun in Capricorn, the next 4 days are going to be an excellent time to let go of things that are no longer serving you. Today being a Saturn Pradosham, this is a great time to access the energy of Lord Shiva to dissolve our stubborn karmas. We're going to practice that in a short time. And then it's a great time to go and throw out stuff that's no longer serving you, like old clothes that you don't use, or old belongings, or donate them, of course. And just this is a great time to stop a bad habit. If you have any bad habits like smoking cigarettes or gossiping, or any type of addictions, this is actually a very good time to drop old bad habits and to start anew, and just make sure that you're clear on what your goals are. So we have Saturn Pradosham today. It's technically starting a little bit later today, but there's no hard and fast lines in the heavens. So it's starting. And then the star of today is Jesta. And Jesta, it's a star that can really help you protect others who are weaker or who need help in its highest expression. It can give someone a position of authority, but you would be like the highest expression would be like you would be like a police officer or a general of the Army of Light who's really helping people and helping people who need to be uplifted. And this star also has to do with using occult knowledge to gain power and prosperity. A lot of times people who are very, very powerful and famous, they're using occult or hidden knowledge, such as mantras, to help them manifest. And they don't tell everyone that, but that's a lot of times that's helping them. So just briefly, tomorrow will be Ganesha's day for removing obstacles, the 14th moon. So another opportunity to continue this clean out and this fresh start of the Vedic winter solstice. And then Monday into Tuesday is going to be the new moon, Tai Amavasya, which is going to be a very powerful time to remove the blockages, the karma in your soul DNA, just through offering to your ancestors. So it's going to be, it's interesting. It's just a really, it's going to be an intense 4 days, starting this new sun transit. And we really have the opportunity to start anew. You know, we can use our coconut to remove karma, or you can use your limes. We've got the small key limes here, on all these days. And then also on Tuesday, Mars is going to be entering Scorpio on the new moon day. And so that's interesting because that's going to make Mars very strong and bring in a good energy that can help you to square away real estate matters, or take action to improve your health, or to overcome difficulties with enemies or opponents. So that's the snapshot of where we are with the stars and planets in the sky. And let's see what Sucharita has planned for us next.
That's great, Rhoda. Thank you so much. You might have to mute. Yeah, great. So there we have it. And for those of you who are like, well, what did she just say? I don't understand how the sun and the moon and the stars affect us. And we will learn, or we will share more with you as we go along. So it's not something that you can easily understand or easily absorb or implement into your everyday life. So how we can best do that is to, now that Radha has shared about how this power time today, it's going to be around sunset, so about 1.5 hours before sunset, in and around there, depending on where you are in the world, the time is going to be different. So check it out and find out when the sun is going to be setting in your area. And then what you can do is you can participate in something called a pradosham ritual, or a ceremony that is all about bathing. So just like we get up every day and we take a shower and we get on with our day, and sometimes we might have to take another shower at the end of the day because we're just so full of whatever happened throughout our day, that consciousness is kind of sticking to us and we want to feel refreshed. So how we do that is through a sacred bathing of the deities that we will honor on this particular 13th moon. So, and this is a Saturday, and Saturday is ruled by the planet Saturn, and Saturn is a great deliverer of our karma. Saturn takes about 2.5 years to transit every sign in the zodiac. So during that 2.5 years, you're going to learn some lessons around that sign or around the house, depending on which house it is in your chart. Again, you don't have to know anything about astrology, but maybe you'll get interested, and maybe you might even have an astrology consultation, which is really helpful because, as Radha shared, all the leaders in the world, all those people who are big in business, celebrities, rulers of countries, of cities, anyone who has a high celebrity type status or they're in the public eye, they will be having astrology consultations. Billionaires have astrology consultations. So that is what is maybe hidden from public knowledge, but they're doing it. Why? Because they have to understand how to navigate in life and what is the best thing to do in their particular field, and especially if they're ruling countries. So we want to make sure that we are getting the most out of these teachings and helping ourselves so that we can create a better reality for ourselves. Maybe we're not going to be rulers, or maybe we're not going to be celebrities. However, we can be the king or queen of our own life. We can be in the driver's seat versus, someone else taking over our life. Now, a king or a queen wants to have a driver. That's a different story. But if we know about what lies ahead and we know how these celestial beings are impacting our life, then we can get that energy awakened inside of us. So again, as Radha shared, you can do it through mantra practice, you can do it through rituals. Just like we have rituals every day, we get up and we do certain things to get ourselves ready. So this will help us to tap into energy of today. It's called Pradosham. It's on a 13th waning moon. And we have our little demo set up here already. I hope you can see this okay. And what we have here is we have Ganesha. He's the remover of obstacles. And you always propitiate Ganesha. Why? Because his energy is at the base of your spine. And we want that energy to come out from the base of the spine and move up. So raise that energy level up to our brain. So there's this hidden or occult energy. It's behind the knowledge of everyday life. So we want Ganesha to remove the doorway so that energy goes up. And then we have, this is called a Shiva Lingam. And it is also one that is particularly for Lord Saturn. So we're going to do an Abhishekam, a bath, a sacred bathing with this Abhishekam, or this Shiva Lingam for Saturn. And then we have a sun here. This also came through one of the services offered through Pillai Center or Astroved. And then we have Nandi. And Nandi is the bull that is associated with Lord Shiva. And it's interesting because you look on Wall Street and you have the bull right down on Wall Street in New York. And why? Because when you have a bull market, it's a good market, right? So you want to, so these are all the secrets that all these power people know. And then they use it. They put it in everyday life. It's right in front of our eyes. So we get to know, we'll start to see all these hidden things that are available for us, and then we can tap into it as well. And here is, this is called a veil, and it is a crystal veil, and this is the psycho-spiritual psychic weapon of Lord Muruga. And Lord Muruga's energy is really powerful this month, especially these next couple of weeks, because not only is Mars going into Scorpio on Tuesday, there is a really powerful time to access Lord Muruga's energy, and that will help to open the third eye. Why do we want to open the third eye? When we open the third eye, we have access to eternity. We have access to everything. And all that knowledge will just pour into us. It will change our body. It will change our DNA. It will change everything. It will totally transform us. We won't necessarily know what's going on, just like when we take an aspirin or a Tylenol when we have a headache. We don't know how it works. We just take the thing because it's going to get rid of our headache, right? So the knowledge is there, the technology is there, and we can use it to our best ability and make it really practical in our everyday life. So this is going to be a bit of a teaching component, but it also is going to be a meditative process, because meditation isn't just when you close your eyes. Meditation is that which there's a stream of consciousness that you tap into, that we all tap into, eyes open or eyes closed, and we are in the zone. So it's like at work, or when we're doing things at home, or we're working on a project, or we are traveling. We're so focused on whatever it is that we're doing that we're in a zone. We don't even know how time has gone by, because we're tapped into that energy. And it's like it nourishes us, and it energizes us, and it makes us to be excited and passionate and joyous in life, regardless of if we've had 2 hours sleep, or if we're faced with tremendous challenges or crisis in our life. We can get that energy reserve and push it up to our brains and make us to think clearly about what it is that we need to do next. So here we are at the start of a new year, and a lot of us, we don't even know what our goals are, or we write them down and then we go, I don't know how that's possible. Well, we'll see how the year rolls out. If I write enough of them, maybe I'll get like 3 out of 10 or 5 out of 10 of those goals accomplished. We want all the goals accomplished. We want all the goals accomplished and more. So that's what miracle consciousness is all about too. It's a stream of consciousness we're going to tap into, and we're going to enliven that energy within us so that it unfolds, and then we are just having these spontaneously correct things happening called miracles. So it's not so much faith-based, although that's a huge component, because really when you believe something or you have faith in something, you've experienced something over and over again, and then you believe it and you have faith that it will happen. So a faith is, as Dr. Pillai shares, is utter positivity. And we can't always have utter positivity because we're tired, or we've got all these things going on in our lives, and we're just focused on those things. So it's important to implement some practice of getting into the zone. And it can be while you're driving, it can be while you're at work or at home. You can play mantras, you can do your spiritual practices very quickly every day. Setup is key. So most people, they can get a Shiva Lingam on Pillai Center or Astroved, and you can just have that. And then you can simply be taking a little bit of water and then just pour it on that. We'll have a Ganesha first, so I'll do Ganesha first. And then you can just simply take a little bit of water and just do that to your Shiva Lingam. And it will do you a world of good. You think, oh my goodness, what is that all about? This is the spiritual technology that Dr. Pillai has shared with us. And because he is the master teacher and he's giving it to the general public, he has the authority to do that. So every spiritual teacher on the earth plane now has some authority that they can give the students who come to them, or those souls who are thirsty for this knowledge. You can give that knowledge. And here's the thing, is that you're wondering why you're here, maybe, or why you're attracted to Dr. Pillai's teachings. Maybe you stumbled upon them, maybe someone directed you to them, maybe you were at an event and then you're learning more about it. Is it because your soul knows where to be? It knows this is where you're going to get the knowledge to grow that intelligence within you. So it's not so easy to get to the soul's intelligence without a master or without someone who can open the doorway. And once the doorway is open, then you can just do what you can do and put it into your everyday life. So this month, especially the next couple of weeks, towards the end of the month, as Radha shared, there's going to be a new moon coming up in the month of Thai. This is a Tamil month. And the name of the Tamil months, just like we have November, December, January, February in English, they have their months where they go from mid-month to mid-month. And so time month is all about enlightenment. So we want to get more light into us. We want to get more intelligence into us so that we can think very quickly and not have a delay, or we not, as Radha shared, this is a time for us to really move forward with whatever we've been working on in our projects. And then, so this new moon coming up is a time to propitiate the ancestors. So the ancestors share our genes, and we want our genes to be like cleansed. We don't want to have whatever our ancestors did if it's not serving us. Hey, if they were great business people, or they did great things in life, and they were happy, and they had happy family life, and they did well in their careers, or they were high in social standing, where they were helping their community, or maybe helping the world at large. All of us do. We've had so many lifetimes. So those ancestors are going to keep following us until we propitiate them. So here we are with Dr. Pillai, and maybe in our gene pool, you can see patterns of behavior that aren't serving anyone. Maybe there's addictions, as Radha shared. You can get rid of that, because that's at the level of the genes. And we share the genes, even though these people are gone and they're just in the spirit world. They can be restless. They can be stuck spirits. So they will make us to think thoughts that they want to think. As Dr. Pillai says, you think your brain only makes you to think. Your genes make you to think. So that's something interesting to explore. And then through doing a Tarpanam ritual, which is an offering to your ancestors, and it's across all cultures. All cultures propitiate their ancestors. So this is not something new. It may be something new to us because maybe we don't know the traditions of our cultures or religious upbringing, but that's pretty much across the culture, that across the world and across cultures, that it's so important for us to pay attention to our ancestors. So this is a time coming up, this new moon, that you can really get in touch with your ancestors and then help them to evolve. And once they evolve, they will give you blessings. So that is coming up. And then at the end of the month, we have a special time where the light is going to explode into the earth plane. And if you're ready for it, you could have an enlightened experience. So enlightenment isn't a one-off, like you get hit by a lightning rod and then either you die or you get enlightened and you become like a shaman or some spiritual leader, because that intelligence is in your whole being, and that light or intelligence will guide you and guide others towards a better reality. So the Taya Pusam is the name for Pushya star, and that's the star of enlightenment. So Swami Ramalingam was enlightened. Lord Shiva came to the earth plane. He, at a time where the earth really needed a leader and to bring enlightened technology and enlightened ways of being. So Shiva came to the earth plane at a time where the star, or the full moon, was in the star Pushya or Pusam, and then it was during this time month. And then also Lord Muruga, he got his energy for this psychic weapon. So you can have a super sword or a psychic weapon like a spear. He got it from his mom, and his mom is Parvati, and his mom is the Shakti, the energy of the goddess that got into this veil. And so he got that energy from her, and so he could fight all these demons of lethargy, poverty, the ego attachment that is so limited in its thinking. It just says no all the time, or yes, and then it's really a bad scenario. So it's just a confused state of being, the ego. So we want divine intelligence, And then we'll go through a meditation today where we will access that energy and actually have an image of the veil implanted into our backbone and into our brain. And that will create this experience internally where you're feeling the energy, you're feeling the light, you may even see it with your internal eye or your third eye. And then that will give you some sort of experience where you will be forever changed. And everyone is going to be different, and no one can negate what you experienced. So it'll be interesting to hear what everyone shares afterwards. But right now, because this is a time where you can get a lot of light and we don't have to do too much, then this is how we'll start it. So you can just be looking at the tray here, the plate here, and we'll just start with a simple lighting of an incense. And this is a short incense, obviously. So you can just cut a big incense in half. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Now focus your attention on the base of the spine and feel the energy or a presence there at the base of the spine. So we'll start with pouring a little bit of water, not too much. This is like a shot glass, maybe a 1 ounce glass. And we're just going to pour it on each of these objects, these sacred objects. And what you can do to benefit most is just gaze at the process and then see what's happening internally. Om Gam Swaha. Om Gam Swaha. Om Gam Swaha. Om Shram Shanicharaya Swaha. Om Shram Shanicharaya Swaha. Om Shram Shanicharaya Swaha. Tiranilakantam Swaha. Tiranilakantam Swaha. Tiranilakantam Swaha. Om Nandi Swaha. Om Nandi Swaha. Om Nandi Swaha. Om Suryaya Swaha. Om Suryaya Swaha. Om Suryaya Swaha. Om Vitrivel Swaha. Om Vitrivel Swaha. Om Vitrivel Swaha. Then you can take some milk. Om Gam Ganapataye Swaha. Om Gam Swaha. Om Gam Swaha. Om Gam Swaha. Om Shram Shanicharaya Swaha. Om Shram Shanicharaya Swaha. Om Shram Shanicharaya Swaha. Tiranilakantam Swaha. Tiranilakantam Swaha. Tiranilakantam Swaha. Om Nandi Swaha. Om Nandi Swaha. Om Nandi Swaha. Om Suryaya Swaha. Om Suryaya Swaha. Om Suryaya Swaha. Om Vitrivel Swaha. Om Vitrivel Swaha. Om Vitrivel Swaha. Take some juice. Om Gam Ganapataye Swaha. Om Gam Swaha. Om Gam Swaha. Om Gam Swaha. Om Shram Shanicharaya Swaha. Om Shram Shanicharaya Swaha. Om Shram Shanicharaya Swaha. Tiranilakantam Swaha. Tiranilakantam Swaha. Tiranilakantam Swaha. Om Nandi Swaha. Om Nandi Swaha. Om Nandi Swaha. Om Suryaya Swaha. Om Suryaya Swaha. Om Suryaya Swaha. Om Vitrivel Swaha. Om Vitrivel Swaha. Om Vitrivel Swaha. So that's the bath or Abhishekam, or elemental hydration. All mean the same thing. And the energy that's coming through this process is going to do something for your soul. And you may not understand it at the level of the mind. And you may have other ideas of what's going on. But just trust that you came here for a reason. And the reason, generally speaking, is because the soul wants it. So listen to your soul and be kind to it. And then we will go through the process of just rinsing them off a little bit. And then we'll do a little, you can just take it, rinse it. I'll just put this here. Yeah. So it doesn't take much of the items that you need to use to pour on. Again, you can just pour water. So the most important thing to understand today, or to experience today, is a connection to these divine beings. So the divine being is not just an object or an image of a god somewhere in the space. The divine being is a state of being, and that state of being is accessed in each and every one of us. So Ganesha, you maybe start to feel him at the base of your spine. Maybe there's some energy going down your legs. Maybe there's some energy that just came alive inside of you. So Ganesha is very powerful again today, and also tomorrow. And as Radha shared, you can break a coconut. And if you break a coconut in honor of Ganesha, it's kind of like cracking your own head open and getting access to the third eye and getting rid of all the congested energy, confusion, emotions that are no longer serving you. So Pongal is a time of the year right now, these 3 days, to clean out. So clean out anger, frustration, depression. As the sun is getting brighter in the sky now, for the next 6 months, you're going to start to feel brighter. So the sun represents our soul, and we want to have that shiny soul, that experience where we close our eyes and we see nothing but light, and we tap into this energy of joy. So Nandi, the bull, the story about him is he's all about joy. So if you feel like you've lost hope, or you're hopeless, or you're kind of depressed, or you're experiencing seasonal affective disorder, then and you don't know what joy is, you don't know that feeling of joy, and so Nandi will give you that feeling regardless of what it is that you're going through. And then the sun again is going to illuminate your soul, it's going to enlighten you, you're going to feel lighter, more energized, because without the sun we don't have any life, we don't have anything going on this planet, right, or in other planets. And then the veil is all about destroying the ego limitations, the intelligence that you thought, oh my God, if I have this career, or if I get married to this guy or this girl, or if I do what everyone else tells me to do in my family, they think what's right for me, and yeah, I'm kind of in alignment with it. And then you wake up one day, if not many days, years, decades, where you're saying, I don't really know what my purpose is. This veil, because we're going to go through a meditation with this sacred object getting to come alive inside of us, that energy is going to tell us what we need to do. It will destroy that ego-driven personality that says it knows what's going on. And then it will also destroy karmas, kind of these litigations or disease or ill health. Your energy is low all the time, or you're just spinning your wheels. That will all get taken care of by propitiating the veil, Lord Muruga, and so on. So now this part of the offering is going to be, again, we're just going to do a little bit of cleansing with the incense. And like in all cultures and all religions, there is some smoke or some fire or some incense that gets, or a smudge that the priest or priestess or the spiritual leader, teacher does. He smudges the space, so he gets rid of all the negativity in the space. So we can just offer it in a clockwise direction. I'm not sure what it looks like for you on the screen, but you're just doing it in a clockwise direction. And you're always offering with your right hand. So Om Gam Ganapataye Swaha, Tirani Lakantam Swaha, Nandi Devaya Swaha, Suryaya Swaha, Pitrivel Swaha. And then you offer a light, and you do that also with your right hand. Om Gam Ganapataye Swaha, Tirani Lakantam Swaha, Shram Shanitraya Swaha, Nandi Devaya Swaha, Suryaya Swaha, Pitrivel Swaha. And then if you have a little bit of water, you can offer the water as a drink, like you would offer a water to your guest if they came over to your house. And then a little bit of sweets, so like a raisin. These are some nuts and raisins. You can offer that. And then the flower. Now, what's so special about the flower? The flower is like the text messages to us. So this is the vehicle that will take your prayers to the heavens. So when you give someone a flower, what do? They smile, right? That makes them happy. So you don't even have to say anything. So when we offer a flower, it's like we please these divine beings. We say, thank you so much, and here's my prayer. So just so that you can have some experience, when we're offering the flower to each of these divine beings, we can say a little prayer. So for Ganesha, you want to ask for obstacles to be removed. If it's finances, if it's health, if it's relationship, whatever it is for you, ask that be removed. And you just say it in regular language, like you're talking to yourself. Really, you are talking to yourself. your highest self. So Om Gam Ganapataye Swaha. So you can just put that in front of Ganesha. Ask him to remove obstacles. And then we'll put this flower. This is a purple flower, and you can, if you can get purple or blue, Saturn really likes that. And then you can, and also Shiva does too for Pradosham time. Tirnilakantam Swaha. So you ask for the karma to be removed that is no longer serving you. The stuck thinking, the stuck feeling. And then so you can experience joy from within and also in your life. This is Nandi's job. Nandi Devaya Swaha. And then we have Surya, the sun. And the sun likes red. So we can give a little red flower. Om Surya Swaha. And then we have one more, the sacred, this psychic weapon is for Lord Muruga, and he likes red. So you can give a red petal. Om Vitrivel Swaha. So you can just make your prayer now that whatever happened here, even though there was a bit of a teaching component, your soul knows. The divine knows how to get in, even when there is distraction going on. So it's really easy to do in your everyday life, where you're thinking so many different thoughts, you got so much on the go. And if you just have your Shiva Lingam at minimum, you can just pour a little bit of water. Again, I just have this handy little spoon that I can just pour water just like that. And I don't even really have to say anything. You don't have to say anything, because that act is an eternal act. It's forever going to wash away your karma. Just like when you take a Tylenol to get rid of your headache, or some medicine, maybe it's a homeopathic medicine, whatever it is you do, you don't have to be the scientist that discovered it, or a doctor, or anyone like that. You just take it and you feel it at the level of the body, the mind, the soul, and you start to feel better. You're in a better spirit of mind, or better, you have more clarity, you're in better spirits, and so on. So this will help you to be doing something for your soul that will give you an experience. So we will put this aside, and then we're going to tap into a meditation, and then we will come back together. So this kind of set the stage for us to clear the karma and get the blessings of Lord Saturn. And this is a Saturn lamp. So this is a special lamp. It's not a ghee lamp, or it's not just any oil. It's a sesame oil. And so this sesame oil, it's also called gingerly. And so you can see it, you can buy it at an Indian store, maybe in an international foods in the aisle, the grocery store. So this gingerly oil, you just pour it into like a little, I have one here, where you just take the oil and then you just can pour it into a dish, something like this or like this. And then you have your wick. It's a cotton wick, and I always have two. And then this is called an Aruku wick. An Aruku wick is a wick that will take away karma, and it will take away any negativity or any obstacles, because it's associated with Lord Ganesha. It's also associated with Lord Shiva, and also the 9 planets, and Nandi, everybody. So this is a sacred knowledge, or sacred tool, that you can use to, on a Pradosham day or any day that you feel like you're really just dragged down, and you feel like you can't have a breakthrough in any of the areas of your life that you're trying really hard at improving. So you just take, so you have this aruku wick, and it's kind of like a straw, and then you have, always take a couple of cotton wicks, and then I just twirl them together, twist them together. And in that twisting together, you can do it a little bit tight, and then you just put it in the dish that you're going to use, and then you take your a little bit of sesame seeds. So these are black sesame seeds. People are always asking, what does a sesame seed look like? So these are black sesame seeds. And then you just take a few of them, and then you just sprinkle it into the little dish. And then you just go ahead and you pour your sesame oil into that. So, and then it ends up like this. So that will, if you do that every Saturday, that will do a lot of good, because that will also propitiate Saturn, and Saturn is the slowest moving planet, and it will cause delays or frustration. So why not just do something on his day every Saturday, or you could do it even every day if you're, especially if you're you have an afflicted Saturn in your chart, maybe the 4th house, 8th house, 1st house, 12th house, those types of positions for Saturn in a chart can be very challenging. Doesn't mean that your life is going to be destroyed or anything like that, but you will have seen in those areas of your life that you just can't have a breakthrough. So you want to get on the good side of Saturn. So do these simple things that will help to make that being, Saturn, the planet, and the being come alive inside of you, that intelligence come alive inside of you, and you align with that energy. And then you will get blessings, because Saturn has been known to take away everything that's no longer serving you at any given point in your lifetime. And again, a lot of people get hit during 7.5 years Saturn, or they call it Sati Sate, or an 8th house Saturn, when Saturn is transiting your 8th house. That's a challenging time too, because it's all about losses and transformation, or even death, diseases, things that are hidden from you. So you want to prepare yourself. So it's really simple to do. You just light a Saturn lamp. You don't have to have any items. You just say, this is for Saturn, and you be safe with it. Have it in a safe place, maybe on a dish or something like that, and have it away from things where it might burn. So that's our puja, or our elemental hydration, abhishekam. And so now we'll just put this off to the side.
Have a great week ahead. Well, a great weekend and a week ahead. And you can check out the recording for the rest of this call, the discussion part, that might be interesting, and then check your email for all the power times that are coming up, that you can get all the blessings from these divine beings who are behind the times. And for those of you who are going to stay on the call, then this is the part of the call where you can come back whenever you'd like to your present state of awareness out of the meditation, and share your experiences, maybe in the meditation or from the puja, the elemental hydration. So I will unmute everyone, and all you need to do is to press *6, or just unmute your mic. *6 on your phone if you're calling in by the phone. And then if you're on Zoom, you can just go to the lower left-hand corner of your screen, and you'll see a microphone. And you can just click on that and share your experience or ask a question.
Good morning, Sucharita. This is Linda from LA.
Hi, lovely Linda. How are you?
Good. Oh, wow. I had a remarkable experience. A memory from when I was when doing your meditation, about 2 or 3 years of age. And got some insights about, it was a traumatic experience. So I got some insights about patterns related to that experience. It was like, oh my God, look at that. So thank you. And I'm going to process that and look at some other stuff in my life. I love you.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing, Linda. And, it's such an appropriate time. So, there are times in our lives where we've had incredible things happen to us that haven't been pleasant, and maybe they've haunted us for our whole life. And when we tap into this energy of time, it makes it to just shake free and shake loose. So I'm glad that you went back to like 3 years old. May not have been a great experience, but it probably at that time got you on your spiritual path, knowingly or unknowingly. So we have to look at those incidences and all the challenges in our life as experiences that the divine wants us to have, so that we will get on our spiritual path. We will bring more joy from within us, regardless of what is going on in our lives, because it's just coming from previous lifetimes. And it's also coming from this lifetime. You can't shake that energy out of you, or you can't stop your mind from thinking about those things. Or if it's just popped into your mind or into your memory, then you don't want to have a full-on crisis again from way back, because you're not who you were back then. And we're not even who we were prior to this meditation, or even 1 second ago. So everything that we experience in a meditation is the divine saying, okay, get this up now, get rid of it. This is the time. So Pongal is a celebration, but also to clear out negative stuff in our life and to get rid of stuff. So it's a time also for us to evolve spiritually. So spiritually means we get charged with all this divinity, this light. And so it has to work its way around us and work its way around our psyche and root out any of those things that we stuck away in our closet. Or when we think about it, it just totally makes us to be upset. So it sounds like, to me, like anyways, Linda, that you are happy that it's come up, and then you're going to take some time to process it. And God bless you, because that needs to go. It's no longer serving us. And I'm not just saying for you, Linda, but any of us who have had very traumatic childhoods, or we have trauma or crisis in our life now in maybe finances or relationships, or your progress in your work is getting blocked, or people are giving you the evil eye, they're jealous or envious of you. This is the time to just root all that out. Just throw it out, get rid of it. Do not even think about it too much, because then you give attention to it. So just note to self, okay, thank you so much. Okay, there you go. You just stay over there, and God bless you. I can just send so much light and love to you. And that is because we asked for these situations at the level of the soul. We asked our divine, our highest self, okay, in this lifetime, these are the things I want to work out. So our soul said, okay, at this point in time, I want to work out with this thing. And it may take the whole lifetime to do it. But once it's gone, you are totally light, your love, your divinity, and you can explode. And it doesn't matter how old you are, because it's always better late than never kind of situation, right? Because you don't want to have to come back in another lifetime and have to go through and work that out. So these spiritual tools and meditations, they help to just release that and always let it go. It's supported right now, so it's easy to let go.
Hi, Sucharita. Aarti here.
Aarti, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for this experience. but I actually felt very heavy and my the thing hip position layer lower back and on my head also. I was feeling so sleepy during the meditation. I didn't sleep, but it was a heaviness feeling all over. And when instead of blue light, no, I always see either a white light or a golden light.
Beautiful. So with an experience like that, Artie, or anyone who has had that, because there's some people posting to the chat, they're saying it was so heavy. And that's the energy that's leaving us. It's saying, look at how heavy I've made you feel, like the weight of the world or the weight of the karma is in your body. You don't even know it until it's being pulled out with these divine beings that are a part of us and also a part of eternity. So we tap into this energy and everything just feels so heavy because it's trying to pull it out of us. So once it's pulled out and the heaviness is gone, you're going to feel a lightness of being. Now that might not happen in, now or in the next day or even two, maybe not even for a couple of weeks. So if you are experiencing that, then what I recommend is continue to do your karma busting techniques, and then also this meditation to keep bringing that light in. The blue light is actual life force. It's that energy that is behind all your bodily functions, like how you breathe and how the blood flows. Who's making you to breathe? Who's making your heart to beat? Who's making your lungs to expand and contract? Yes, there's a physical process going on, but who's starting it all? It's your highest self. It's your soul. It says, hey, use this unit and let's have a journey, right? So the heaviness is maybe due to some karma is being released, and also your thinking is changing. So just note to self, when that heaviness is leaving, what is attached to that? Is it a memory? Get rid of it, because the memory is not you. It's only an experience of the past that you had. So if you can't let it go and you need some support, then definitely reach out to get some counseling or therapy, or if you need some emotional support from your family or friends, reach out. And this is the time to talk about stuff. As Radha shared, it's a time to get rid of addictions. And we can see in family lineages, there's a lot of that going on. So it would be a great time to open up that dialogue. Not that you go in, okay, we're going to talk about this because this is the time. You'll just naturally, maybe you'll pick up your phone and call a sibling or call a mother or father, and you'll just be having like a normal conversation, or a conversation that you would have, and then something gets revealed. And it might not be that you instigated it or you initiated it, but it got released. It got brought out into the open to be dealt with and to be released from the lineage. So do your Tarpanam rituals as well. And if you can, everyone, if you're going through a heaviness in these next couple of weeks and you can't, everything that you're doing on your own is only making it heavier, it would be really well worth it for you to participate at some level in these remedies that are being offered through Pillai Center or AstroVed, because they're very pure. These pre-Vedic specialists, they're on your behalf, on your soul's behalf. They're pulling that out by pouring in the consciousness, and how it works is at the soul level. So you don't have to be physically present. You can just send your birth star and your name, and that carries an intelligence that's part of your being. It's your star quality. It's your name. It rings when someone says your name in a crowd. You will hear it. So it's a familiar feeling for you. And so at the level of the soul, these Vedic specialists do this and clean it up, so it's not such a heavy burden for you to do the cleanup job. It's kind of like you get someone who, if you're working and you got kids and everything, and you get the cleaning lady to come in every now and then to help you out, to do the big stuff. You have to, because otherwise you just don't have the time, you don't have the energy. So like that, we participate in these services that get done on our behalf to clean up that soul, because we can't get into it when it's just a big mess. It's just overwhelming. So that heaviness will be present, but also do keep doing your practices and feel it release.
Okay.
Thanks.
Just one more thing. I don't have Nandi in my home. Unless I have a marble Shivalingam with me, which my mom has gifted to me. I have a snake on it.
That's okay.
And I'm daily doing, me and my hubby, we both do daily Abhishekam to Shivlingam. And we have, instead of Narayana, we have a Shaligram stone.
Great.
And Tulsi. So for that also we do.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And if you do that every day, it's very simple. Again, when you're with Dr. Pillai, we don't have to do it like they do in the ceremonies that get done in India in temples and so on, because all we need to do is be a part of this stream of consciousness that we're aligning with, and all the tools will come at the right time that need to be used when we use them, and we implement them on a regular basis thereafter. That's taking care of our soul. It's kind of like you brush your teeth to take care of your teeth. Okay. You go to the dentist, you get some work done. It's not always pleasant, but you do it because dental health is really important. It's not just because your teeth will look good, it's because it affects your whole system. So,
This is my altar photo.
Oh!
This goddess Lakshmi, then Durga, Nambama, Ganesha, Lakshmi Ji, Saraswati, then Tirupati Balaji, Saraswati Yantra, Shapurama, Krishna, Baby Krishna, and these are Srimriti Yantra and Ganesha, and all the Kanakdara coins, Shivlingam. Then this is a Jain god, and Sai Baba, Swami Samadguru, and this is a Shaligram. Like it represents the Narayana and Tulsi. So daily we do the Abhishekam.
Wow, thank you so much, Arti.
And once, actually in morning also I forget to share. Once, I don't know when, but once I was doing this meditation, no, I was sitting in my home, but I saw like how we open the window and we see outside the sky and everything. Instead of that, it was that kind of scene. It was just a section of seconds, hardly 5-7 seconds, but it was that I was in a space and I am seeing so many planets and stars and galaxies and everything, as if I'm in a space space shuttle. Like that, there was a vision came in a meditation only, and then everything again it disappeared, and only golden light was there. And once when I was doing it, no, I literally felt like I was not doing with you. This thing, the same meditation was available. The video of Dr. Pillai, the Om Namah Shivaya meditation for all the chakras. At that time, I experienced it. Golden pillar was rotating so fast, and as if it's like we feel it's very fast, but when it touched my spine, at that time it was not that very fast, but it was moving. I can feel it. And the veil which you say, no, it pierced my medulla oblongata and my above my neck and the starting point of the skull. And then I was just experiencing it is moving inside, but not in the skull. Nothing. I couldn't get any vibes or anything in my head area, but on my spine I got it superb.
That's beautiful. That's what will happen. So keep doing that meditation, because that's the meditation that we do on the chakras. So the 1-minute meditation or Om Namah Shivaya, or you're visualizing the veil as your backbone and brain, that is an image that we can relate to that will awaken our soul and then take us on a journey, even though we're encasing, and our soul is encased with this physical form. That spinning energy, that's where we want to get to, that fast spinning, that acceleration. To what? To spin out anything that is lower vibrating and it gets stuck. So like a blender, you're spinning it to mix it all up, but you also want to, release it from us. Okay. So that those experiences that you're having, Arti, are amazing in that you're experiencing the grace light, the column of light, and then also within you at the level of the backbone and brain, the veil. Those are all really, they're going to be becoming more and more alive for everyone. Even if you didn't think you saw anything or experienced anything at all today, or in the past up until now, these next 2 weeks, when you do your meditation practice, just do a little prayer and ask Ganesha, that God within you at the base of your spine, to really push the energy up, to release all that energy so that you can experience that acceleration. And with more acceleration, there's more light. And when we think at the speed of light or faster than the speed of light, then we are totally aligned with the divine and we become light. We become this lightness of being. We become vital. We become joyous. All very high vibrating thoughts will always be attracted to those kinds of thoughts. Even in the worst situation, we will just be like, okay, everything's happening for a reason, and you know it. And then your faith and your trust in the divine becomes unshakable, and you become this being of light and love and intelligence.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, when I was not doing Dr. Pillai's, I was watching those videos and daily this thing message comes from Pillai Center. But I was not doing any practices of, sometimes when I get a chance, in fact, I was getting more vibes from Vai Namashi instead of Om Namah Shivaya and Srimriti initially. I'm talking about last year.
Yes.
So I used to keep on, while walking, driving, or cooking, I used to keep on chanting Om Vai Namashi, Om Vai Namashi continuously. Knowingly, unknowingly, it was going on inside me. Then I was getting more vibes. I told, no, in morning also I told, okay, sometimes I get totally blank and mechanical, and sometimes I get more vibes. So when with Om Vai Namashi, I was getting more vibes. So I was doing that. And instead of Om Gam Ganpate Namah, I used to chant Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti, Samaprabha, Nirvignam, Kurume Deva, Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada. That was going on. So in when I was cooking, all of a sudden, in India, we do this thing, Ganesha, 10 days of festival, for Ganesha in the month of September. It's for Hindu, this thing is Bhadrapada, Ganesh Jayanti and Ganesh Visarjan. So the Ganesha procession, the statues has to be immersed in the water, and a big julus and everything. All people join it and they play and dance and chanting, and they go on. So when I was cooking in my home and I was chanting Vakratunda Mahakaya, all of a sudden the same thing appeared on the cupboard of my kitchen, and Ganesha looked at me. I was just watching. Instead of cooking, I was just watching there. Okay, this procession is going on, and now Ganesha is going, and I'm watching, and all different statues. One statue of one Ganesha statue was there. Ganesha stopped there, looked at my eyes, and whispered the mantra Om Shrim Namaha in my ears. But I was confused. It was Om Shri Namaha or Om Shrim Namaha. So I didn't chant it. And then when I started this, and when Dr. Pillai this thing on the day of the second meditation 201, when Dr. Pillai explained Om Shrim SHREEE, each letter stands for what? At that time I realized, Lord Ganesha gave me this mantra last year, and I was just confused what to chant, Om Shri Namaha or Om Shrim Namaha. I didn't chant that much. I tried that, and I said, okay, you only correct it, whether it's Om Shri Namaha or Om Shrim Namaha. But now I realize it was given, and if I would have chanted, it would have given me fast manifestation rather than this. But okay, I'm happy. Okay, I'm doing it, and I'm on the right track, and I'm with your guidance and all Dr. Pillai's knowledge and everything. I'm moving, not in a fast speed, but it is moving in a good direction in a spiritual level. I'm happy for that.
Oh, we can hear your happiness, Arti, and it's so nice that you're sharing, because many people who come to these teachings, they come with their mind, they come with the previous thinking about their spiritual path, or this is what I did, or this is what I know. And like all knowledge, even the masters will say, knowledge is forever evolving. You never know what is supposed to be given at any particular point in time. So even knowledge from ancient times, we have to modify it because we're in a different state of being. We don't have hours and hours and hours to sit around a fire pit and do like they did in Vedic times. But we definitely can participate by lighting a lamp, and that is going to be bringing that intelligence in to us, because we've evolved as a human race. And then also we are all connected at the level of the soul that is evolving. The earth is evolving. Everything is in a high state of evolution. And so things are moving fast. So we just can tap into that energy. And your experience sharing about, how Ganesha showed you something a year ago. And people will say, oh my God, what are you talking to, elephants? But it is that way. And it's
that way. While I'm chanting these, the cow and the stray dogs and everyone, they come and they kiss me and they want to walk with me and they say, you pet us and you love us, and otherwise we won't let you go. Like that, they are showing their love and their affection, and they protect me also from the any other vehicles and all those things. And they just want to be with me.
That's
they don't
beautiful.
allow to come to my home. And they say until I just pet them and say, okay, now enough, now I have to go and I have to do my duties also. Leave me. Tomorrow I'll come to play with you, with my pups. And when I take them, my pups, then they all play, and then only they allow me to go with my pups also. No.
That's great.
How comes here so many people in every time, next to every temple, the cow, the person sits with the cow or the calf, and we have to feed them. So we do it. So even if the cow is going to that place or coming back from the temple to the shed, if the cow also sees, the cow also comes to me. Okay. My mother-in-law and everyone says, why all the animals and the goats or cow and the dogs, they are just chasing you? I say, I don't know. They might be feeling I'm more like an animal rather than human being.
Well, that may be, I don't know, but you're having some really beautiful experiences, Arti, and maybe we'll leave the floor open or the mic open for other people to share. But thank you so much.
And one more thing I will share now, when you were saying, okay, you visualize blue light entering in your throat. Honestly speaking, I saw blue light on your throat rather than on me.
Wow. Wow. So someone was saying too on the chat that there was, when they were in the meditation, it was, there was some shifting in the room, the holographic Babaji cube. It fell off and got chipped on the side. Can I continue to keep this on the altar? Please advise. Well, we've shared about this before, and it's traditionally, or, just to be on the safe side, and if any sacred object gets bumped or broken or chipped, it can mean that there was a strong karmic interference, or this sacred object has taken on a bunch of negativity and it just needs to now be released. So you can just, for the holographic cube, if you want to part with it, you can put it into a running water or like a stream or a lake or ocean, and do it somewhere where people aren't going to be watching you, and just, know that this, even if you sit with it and you just say, okay, what did this holographic cube of Dr. Pillai's feet absorb? What kind of energy is in this cube, and it will immediately come to you. And then you can decide if you want to let it go. But to keep a broken object or something that's chipped or not completely whole and intact, it might be just holding on to some energy, and then when you're doing your prayers or your pujas, you're getting mixed results. So it's always a good sign. And even if you think, oh my goodness, I paid, so much for that, just think of what the karma maybe is going to take away, a health issue or a big financial crisis or relationship issues, whatever you've been praying for, maybe that's taken on the karma and it needs to go. So again, it can be like the mala beads, these are crystal ones, but they have the Rudraksha beads that you can get through Pillai Center Astrovid. And sometimes you're praying so much that they burst, and get rid of it. So that is, and you'll feel that release, and as you release it into the running water, it's like, oh my God, yes, this karma is done. We have to, it's not enough for somebody to say your karma is done, or for you to say, I'm done with this karma. You have to experience it. So this is one of the signs that perhaps you have completed a level of karma that is just no longer serving you, and you're just going to get rid of it through this object that has taken it on, like a surrogate. Someone is saying, I felt this meditation was focused on love. For me, I saw visions of a man I've fallen in love with, and just felt a huge urge to push the energy of love and healing to people in my life and the whole world. I felt so much love during the meditation. And that's a beautiful sharing from this member, because that's what it's all about. When you pour a little bit of water on the Shiva Lingam, or you put that sacred ash vibhuti, it's the white grayish powder, and I have it here in a little container. You get it in little packages from Pillai Center or Astrovid when you participate in those services, or you get them at temples. I'm just trying to find one here, what that package looks like. Not close by. So what I do is I just put them in a little container, and then I have it. And then when you put that vibhuti across your forehead, what you're doing is you're wiping out the frontal lobe, you're wiping out the karmic thoughts, you're wiping out everything that is blocking what? This is a door that you're opening up to the midbrain. So when you open that door to the midbrain, you open up so much more intelligence coming in that is not being filtered with the logical, rational mind that says, no, it's not going to happen. So these kinds of things, tools, the technology, don't just say, oh, okay, well, I'll just put it here and hope my third eye opens. Experience it, wipe it out. And it is not only going to wipe out the karma, it's going to give this vibhuti, they call it, is love. So vibhuti is the physical object that you can use to activate love. A meditation on love is because of the grace of Lord Shiva. So the grace of Lord Shiva is readily available today, being the 13th moon. And then throughout these next 2 weeks, you're going to feel a lightness of being. Love is going to be there. And especially for people who, like yourself, this person was sharing, we don't understand what they're going through. We don't understand why they are thinking or saying or doing things that are causing conflict in our interactions or in our everyday life or in our family or workplace. We can't figure it out, and we don't want to get caught up in it either. We don't want to judge it. So when we do a meditation and we ask the divine to wake up that intelligence that will bring love, and when that love comes, then all you want to do is just send it out, because you're going to explode with it. or implode. You know, it's going to be too much. So, but that love is very intelligent. It's not a human love. It's an intelligent love that says, this is the direction that you need to put this love. And then you will have the thought. And then the thought will be of the memory or situations that you want to clean up. So it's beautiful that you had this experience, the person that posted it privately, and that we can share in it, because that's certainly what I felt. I felt like just all this expansion of this divinity that was coming, and it was just, I was going through in my memory banks all these situations recently that have come up, and they've been just kind of like pulling stuff out of my closet, you know, that I want to get rid of. And a lot of it was surrounded, had to do with relationships and surrounding relationships, surrounding everyone that is important in my life. And there's been some challenges, and talking about it isn't doing anything. The actions that I've taken isn't doing anything. The actions that the other people are taking, it's not working. So hopefully that divinity has gone out, and I certainly felt it, and sounds like this person too had felt this pouring out of love and going into all the places and the people that it needs to go. Aruku is spelled let me just post it, E-R-R-U, oops. E-R-U-K-K-U. And that is the wicks. Oh, someone left. Okay, so yeah, so Aruku wicks. And then you can get Aruku wicks on Pillai Center or Astroved. Sometimes, maybe, not sure if they're there, but definitely you can use it to burn. Again, I'm using this. This is fabulous. On Saturday, what you'll find compared to ghee lamps, this just burns so calmly and smoothly. And when you have the Aruku wick and you twist it on the cotton, twist it together with the cotton, it's just a beautiful, peaceful energy in your space. So test all these things out. Don't just listen to us. We've been around for a few decades, or a couple decades, going on the third one. And you know, this technology, it really does the job, and you don't have to do anything other than light the lamp and do your prayers. And your prayers don't have to be full on, oh my God, and doing mantras and all that. You can, but it can be just, you know what, I just really need to have peace of mind. I know that this is the technology that will appease Lord Saturn and take away any congested energies or karmic blocks that I just can't do on my own. I've tried everything. And so just burning that, you will have an experience and you will feel it in your space. So definitely try these things out that we shared today. Someone was saying earlier, I was coughing throughout the meditation and trying to clear my throat. And then finally, by the end of it, my throat felt really clear and clean. So that's what meditation does. It gets you into a stream of consciousness. Just think of the word stream. It reminds you of a river, right? Like the water flowing. So it's like this river of life force energy that is coming through, and it is a stream of consciousness that you're tapping into, and it's cleansing everything in your body, your mind, your soul. And then if you feel this coughing or wanting to clear or even yawn, you know, when you're yawning, what are you physically doing? You're trying to create space. You're trying to get energy into you, right? Or there's too much energy and you've got to like, oh, this is too exhausting, right? And you yawn. Oh my God, I'm talking about I'm going to yawn. I don't want to yawn because it'll be contagious. Everybody will start yawning. But it might be a good idea. Try it. You know, you yawn and you open up everything. You open up everything that you're closing down to. You know, we shut down, we hold back, we take in stuff that isn't, it's kind of poisonous to our body, our mind, our soul. But we have to do it sometimes in some situations. So it's important to do these meditations for that reason, is that meditation is a stream that cleanses. It keeps cleansing and cleansing. And as it's cleansing, it's not just a washer. It's creating that energy to come up from within you and blossom and expand and meet from head to toe, meet who you really are, not just a meat body. We're a light body, we're a lightness of being. And that is way more intelligent, way more joyous and happy, and can get to these high heights very quickly. So when we go get the highest, it's the most intelligent. It's kind of like you go to, we always use this analogy, we'll use it again, where you go to the bank and you know what your bank account looks like, and you go to the teller and they go, no, you don't qualify. But if you know the bank manager will say, oh no, come over here. And the bank manager says, well, we can do something here. If you know the owner of the bank, my God, you get all your financial situation resolved, right? So like with your meditation practices, just go to this higher intelligence, is like the CEO, and you're buddies with them. So they're going to help you because you're their friend and they are your friend. And it doesn't matter that you're not a bank CEO or, you know, whatever it is. You can go to that person, that being, and that they will help you because you resonate on the same level as they do. So not all of us have that access in the physical realm where we know people in high places, but even those people in high places may be limited as well. So why not go to the divine and then let the divine whisper in their ear to help you out? Because that's how it works too. So it's, as Dr. Pillai shares, it's a two-way communication. The divine comes in and you're also having a conversation through your internal dialogue. And no one can negate that. And people might say, oh, you're talking to yourself. Yeah, I am, because everyone else I'm talking to, it's not working out. Right? So you're talking to your highest self, not to your mind self, because that's like running around in a jungle and forget about it. It's a monkey, just jumps all over the place. So this has been, sounds like this has been a pretty good power time practice. Someone posted this has been a good power time practice. Where the light is coming in, the intelligence is coming in. And someone else said here, when the light filled my whole body, I started dancing and shaking in my seat. Total opposite of normal meditative state. That's what happens when you get your chakras rocked. You can actually physically rock because your chakras are rocking. Those psycho-spiritual centers are spinning. And when you go really fast, that acceleration gets expressed as a physical experience. So no doubt, and that happens. And especially when the grace light comes and you feel this column of light and everything is spinning in all different directions, not just vertically or horizontally, it's spinning like all subatomic particles of light spinning in you. And they're super intelligent. So they're trying to find places in your being, in the body cells and in the subtle body cells, in the DNA. It wants to shake you up. So if that has happened where you're shaky or you're lightheaded or you're really heavy, you've got to do some self-care and modify accordingly. So one of the things that Dr. Pillai shares is the drink more water, take more water in to cleanse, and then also to bring in the God, because he says that hydrogen is God. And hydrogen, we need 2 of those hydrogens plus an oxygen to make up the water in our body, which pretty much takes up, you know, about anywhere from 60 to 80%, maybe a little bit more, maybe less, depending on the text that you read. So we want to, you know, hydrate ourselves to flush the toxin and also bring more God consciousness, because the God is now spinning in us and it wants to settle in. So put it into the water that's not muddy and that's gone. So it's cleansing, taking more water in. Hydrate yourself, and then get in nature. Go out and get some fresh air. It doesn't mean that you have to run or hike or do, just get out into nature. Get out and be with, in natural surroundings, or be around kids. You know, those people who are on the spiritual path and they're having their dark moments of the soul and they don't see any breakthrough and nothing is working and they're doing mantras till the cows come home and they're just miserable. And that's what Dr. Pillai says. Most people on the spiritual path are pretty miserable at one point or another. So go, he says, go and be with kids. You know, they will make you laugh. They'll frustrate you too, but they will make you to see that, oh my God, you know, this life is all about, what are these kids going to do? Just like when I was a kid, what was I thinking? What was I doing? And then fast forward it, you know, a few decades later or more for some of us. And what do you feel like? You're totally out of control. You don't have any control over your life. Stuff happens. So you've got to get on the spiritual path in a way that you're enjoying it. So if you're not enjoying it, shake it up. Shake up your spiritual teachings, the courses that you take, the programs, even if you are in a program, shake up that. Don't do it so strict. You know, because the energy, the divine, is not confined. It can't be confined. It's too powerful. So it's going to come in and go out. And it's going to dance with you, and it's going to do all kinds of different things. So hopefully that's been helpful when you're having those moments where a lot of stuff is coming up. Take care of yourself and don't worry that you are, you know, lock yourself into your room for the next couple of weeks if it's pretty intense, because keep doing your spiritual practices. And like an operation, you have to have it to be pretty pristine and pretty sterile. Not sterile in the sense that it's, you can't function in life without, you know, washing everything. But it's, you know, just keep your thoughts really pure. And if you have to be immersed in work, then you just walk, you know, take a shower every time you walk in the door. Just because we just absorb so much in our environment. And why not give yourself that gift of 10 minutes? That's very well worth it and very good self-care. In fact, Dr. Pillai says, and the Siddhas say that if you take 3 to 5 showers a day, oh my God, you don't have to worry about your karma. Can we do that? No. And it doesn't have to even be long showers, but it's so funny. We'll sit down and we'll watch TV or we'll read books or we'll get on the phone and, you know, waste a lot of time and say, well, I'm relaxing. Just go and take a 90-second shower. You'll be so refreshed, knowing with that awareness that this is going to cleanse karma. So I think we've answered all the questions on the chat. Are there any other questions or comments that you have maybe for Radha? Radha, are you still there? I'm not sure.
Hello.
Hi, Radha, how are you? Radha, are you there? Oh.
Yes. Thank you for a great call, and looking forward to doing more karma busting later on today.
Look at the light coming in. I don't want to talk, but I just want you to keep talking so people can see the light coming into your space, and maybe it's coming from within you.
Hi,
Did you
this
have
is
anything to
Ayana.
wrap up about the times that you shared? The power times, Radha?
I have a question for
No,
Radha.
that's it.
This is Ayana.
Oh, Ayana.
Yes, hi everybody.
Okay. Do you have a
Hi.
question for Radha?
Yes, a question for Radha has to do with astrology. I was advised by Swamini Bali to have a birth chart rectification because I didn't know the exact time of my birth. And I did submit all the information, and I just received a reply this morning saying that they couldn't do it because they didn't know my birth date, but I did give them the birth date and they wanted to refund me. So I'm wondering, and I replied, I said, yes, I did submit the birth date and the approximate time and everything they needed. But I'm wondering if they're not able to do it, how can I know exactly what my birth star is? And how important is it to have that exact time?
Were you working with Astroved or was it a different company?
No, Astroved.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I think they should be able to do it once they realize you've given them the birthday.
Yeah, I gave them everything in the beginning and they asked more questions. I gave those to them. And now they said that they cannot do it because they don't know my birth date, which I gave everything to them.
Okay, yeah, maybe the thing to do would just be to follow up with them more and see if maybe there was some mistake on their end, or maybe, just try to, talk to their customer service. What do you think, Sucharita?
Yeah, it's good advice, and that's what I would recommend as well, because sometimes even trying to get a birth rectification there's challenges. So you can see these hidden forces, these invisible forces that are trying to block us. And then other times, if we have given the information, then sometimes it gets lost in translation. The astrologers might be asking you again to input that information because they're picking up something about that time period that you submitted again. Even if they say that they don't have it, there's a divine timing. And maybe, Radha, you can share a little bit more about that, like prashna, from a prashna perspective, where the time on the clock will give information about the person's situation, about their chart, about getting the star and so on.
Yeah, that's a good point. It could be that you just have to break through some obstacles in order to get to, get this astrological information, which is going to be useful to you. And yeah, everything has its timing and place. So it could be that you had to go through a couple attempts before you get it done, and it'll be like, and usually when that happens to me, it turns out like, oh wow, that happened at the perfect time. Like, for example, I sign up for a ritual through proxy ritual through Astroved, and then I'm wondering like, why don't I get the prasad? It's been so long. And then the prasad comes in the mail on like the perfect day, like a power day, okay, like my birth star day or something that's significant to. Then I realize, oh, it had to come at the right time.
Okay, that's very helpful. Actually encouraging, because I did, send them another email and saying, would you please check? Here's my information again. And I knew it. I'm like, I said, I can't believe it. I'm having obstacles just to get my birth chart rectification, which is so important to do, the next things. I'm in a big transition, and it's like, okay, this is interesting. I wonder what my birth chart rectification is going to say. Yeah, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you, Radha, for sharing your input. And it is important for all of us to know what our star is and what what planets are and what signs and the houses and so on. And again, you don't have to be an astrologer. It just gives you kind of like a roadmap. So you don't have to make the map. You don't have to understand it. You just have to know from point A to point B is going to get you to the place that you want to go. And then there's a way to navigate that. So astrology it looks into your life and gives you insights about how you're being, how you're looking at life. And then you get to find out what your gifts are. Even if you know your gifts, you may not know how to use them. So astrology will give you those insights and kind of shine the light. Because as Dr. Pillai shares, the astrology is all about controlling time. So if you want to be really great at time management, then you start with you. You don't start with things outside of you. Like looking at the hands of the clock going by every hour at work going, oh my God, am I ever going to get through this? Or, oh my God, I have no time. So astrology will, and the planets influencing the way of thinking, your way of being, that will be awakened inside of you as the astrologer looks into your situation, and as you gain more insights about how you're helping those planetary beings evolve within you and in that period of time throughout your day. So it's very, very important for us to know about it. Not that we have to study it, but you'll start to automatically, because it's all about you. So you'll want to find out more about you, because everybody's a star. And someone wrote here at the beginning, I believe, it was their birthday. And is it good to get karma removed on your birthday? Absolutely, because just think of the birth process, and when you revisit it on your birthday, then you are getting rid of any karma that you came into this lifetime. Every year you get to do that. And it's beautiful too, because Pillai Center and Astrobed, they offer this birthday for your soul to get empowered. It's your gift to you. And someone wrote and said, oh, should I participate in this? And I said, absolutely. I don't miss a birthday that I can give myself something that is going to be so valuable, not only for myself, but for everyone who I encounter, because that's what we're here to do. We were born to do something. And whatever it is that we're doing is how we're interacting with others, and that's how we're evolving. If we don't celebrate that on our birthday and feed our soul with that intelligence, then the karma is going to just keep us stuck. So it's great if you can do karma busting on your birthday. In fact, every month on our birth star day, so when you know your birth star, every month you'll see it on the Vedic calendar, on the Astroved calendar, where that star falls. And that will be like a mini birthday every month. So people say, well, I can't change my karma. You can change it. You can. You can change what you are destined to do. And it's through the attitude and the behavior that you will change. So you can do all these remedies. You can chant mantras. You can, go to sacred power spots. But if you don't change your attitude and you don't necessarily think that you need to make any modifications in your behavior, then it's like you have all these gifts, the divine is giving you all these gifts, and you're saying, no, I'm good. They're just going to be gifts that you put in your drawer, and you don't, or cupboard, and you don't pull it out, and then nobody knows who you truly are. So having that attitude of always being receptive, even in situations where you're being pushed, there's a pushback. It doesn't matter, because that's all on the physical plane. So even in this physical form, we're dancing particles. So there is going to be a bit of dancing going on where we're stepping on toes, we're falling over, we're feeling good, feeling bad, we're high, we're low. We're up, we're down, we're judgmental, we're just hideous in our own being. Like, how can I think this way? How can I feel this way? I just stop it. We're obsessing about it. We can't even let go of that. We want to let go of it, but we don't. So every time we have a birth star that happens every month, just say what is going to shine You know, what about me needs to shine in this month and be in the world? And you'll see there's favorable characteristics and unfavorable. And we'll definitely know the unfavorable and we'll go, ooh, I don't want to look at that, right? But look at it and just put attention to it, and it won't be so negative. You'll just laugh at it and say, oh my God, when are you ever going to grow up? Right? And then you just do your meditation practices, bringing more awareness into it and saying, well, that's not going to be the star quality that I want to shine in life. So I want to, have all the good qualities come out. So the astrologer will help you with that too, because they will see you what you can't see for yourself. What day is Mars Day? Sunny, it's Tuesday, right? So Tuesday is Mars Day, and then every day has Mars Horus. So you can go and get a Hora watch, or you can go on to the Panchang on AstroVed, and then you can find out what Hora is running.
Hi, Sucharita.
Hi, Sunny, how are you?
Good. I've been wanting to ask this for years. I've kind of like just put it on the back burner, but ever since I've been studying with Dr. Pillai, I noticed that I'm Catholic. You know, my background is Catholic, and even though they may not approve of what I do, I still love. I'm still Catholic, and I love that. So, I noticed that every time I get deeper into one of his teachings, I used to wear the rosaries all the time, and the cross would fall off. And, different every time, like there would be different things where the cross would fall off, or it would break off my rosaries. And then I got this wood rosary, and I was like, oh, perfect. Then I wear this one. Well, don't you know, Jesus was metal and glued onto the wood, so Jesus would fall off. So, this happens throughout the years, and I'm like, oh, okay. Every time now I got another deeper teaching. I'm doing the Shrim Brazi, but I was guided to get something else. And of course, I get another program. And what happens, I have a wall rosary that's on the windowsill, and my daughter, while she's looking out the window and we're talking, it falls down, and the cross with Jesus, of course, it breaks. The rest of the rosary is fine. The Blessed Mother is always fine. But of course, my rosary, the Jesus breaks. So I'm like, I don't know. Every time I notice every time I go deeper into his teaching, I've accepted now, because it used to freak me out at the beginning. And I'm like, okay, every time I think, forget it, I'm not doing this, then he'll talk about Jesus. So I'm like, okay, I know I'm on the right path. This feels good. I have good evidence and everything. But it always, I don't know.
Yeah, well, if you just look at this, I don't know if you're on the Zoom, but you can see the Shiva Lingam.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that it has a vertical and has a horizontal. So that's what the cross represents. And in all cultures, you'll see some variation of a vertical and a horizontal. So the vertical is you're connected to the divine, right? And you've broken through this horizontal that is like right about here. It's blocking your ability to connect with your higher self. So it can be your interpretation. You got to go into that, but it can be that the karma is your old way of being, or your association with that cross, or maybe even Catholicism. You have deeper understanding now. So that karma is, you've broken through it, and you're going to go deeper into it. So you don't have to bear that cross of just knowing, not superficial, but only knowing what you know now after all these years.
Okay. And when I was, of course, when you started the meditation, of course, I had to get my kids dressed to go out, but I was listening. But before that, I got exactly what I needed when you did the demonstration, when you had the ladle, when you did the first time with the Ganesha, and you did it with the Shiva. And of course, you answered my question. I'm like, I got this from Guru Paranam. I got it, but I have never used it, what to do with it. So as soon as you put the 2 drops of water on it, my whole aura got cleared. It got cleared out. So that was awesome. So thank you.
Oh,
and then,
You're very welcome. And that's what I was saying to people, like, you don't even know what this is going to do. So you just said it. Thank you so much, Sunny, that you had an experience with only a couple of drops on it. That's awesome.
Yeah, right at the beginning. And one more question is, studying with Dr. Pillai, I really resonate with the whole siddha and you think and manifest, that whole. So I've had a lot of success and everything and stuff where I had even to think back in years. I'm like, oh my goodness, because I was studying with Dr. Pillai, but I'm noticing I'm having a small block. So I'm wondering if you can help me with this mindset. So everything that I think about or want, not everything, but like successful, it'll come to me. And so I really studied where he said, where the yogis, they just think they don't have to do. And so I've had some success with that. And so I'm noticing a block when it comes to the money portion, because he's like the highest thing is that you can do it without money. When I studied with him before, like it'll just come without. So now as far as the cash, I'm noticing I'm doing my business and I'm like, okay, I channel away so that the cash can come through, but I have a tiny block now so I'm trying to change my mindset. Okay, something that can come to you, that you attract to you besides material things or physical things. Money could be one of those things, but I have like a little block now because I've always resonated from the beginning, like you don't need money, it'll all just come to you. So now you see where I'm like, I have a little block there.
Yeah, and that's where astrology comes into play too, because we can be going along in life and we can create a business and money can be flowing and we don't necessarily need a lot and we're doing our practices and we're able to manifest. And then there comes a time period where it's not so favorable. So it's kind of like it's raining every day and it's, like I just want to move freely. I want money to flow to me. So I would if you haven't had an astrology consultation, then get one and ask specifically about the money houses at this point in time, where you're to look, what you're to do. An astrologer is like a counselor, a therapist for the soul, right? The astrologer is looking in and saying, okay, this is what I see about your situation. Are you doing this? Yes, I am. Are you looking for it? Well, no, I don't think I can do that. Yes, you can. It's right there. And this is a favorable time period for you to explore that. Or this is not a favorable time period. Just work on other things. And then down the road, it will come. So as Dr. Pillai shares, and every spiritual teacher that will share, it's not going to fall from the sky. You've got to be doing something in your life. Even they have to do something in their lives. They can't just om. They've got to go out and they've got to be, and they've got to, talk to lots of people, organize lots of things. And it's usually big, big bucks, because money is part of being in this world, just like food is. Without money, you don't have food, and vice versa. So it's a very important breakthrough that you're going to have, Sunny, is if you can get the astrology consultation and then go down that stream of consciousness, keep doing it, because you might just be going through rainy days at the level of the soul. It's just going to rain all the time or be snowy or create some obstacle. And then when it clears, when the sun is shining, then that's when you're going to make hay.
Okay, thank you so much. I think I feel I've lifted my vibration enough that I can go get the reading and be receptive.
Yeah, but go with empower yourself before you go. So don't just go like, oh, I wonder what they're going to say. And I'm not saying that you're going to do that, Sunny. I'm saying for everyone. Because I've done that too, where I'm like, oh, they're just going to look in. And they just, the soul tells. And it might not be resonating with you. So just say, this is what I do for a living. This is what I want. I want to have this amount of money. So be very specific. And then ask them, according to the houses or the signs that are relating to money, that are relating to income, that are relating to profit, gains, business, job, anything to do with money, then you ask them to look into all those at this point in time that you're going to have your reading, and then say, what do you see in the coming months? And then they will tell you where your obstacles are, which you can confirm, or you can say, wow, I never thought of it that way. And then once you have that clarity, then you have a map. You've got direction.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Anything else, Sunny?
No, that's it for right now. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing, and God bless you. You're a mom with so much going on. You're so inspiring for a lot of us. I can barely get myself going, and you got your whole family to get going and also implement your practices every day. So thanks so much for sharing.
Sunny, this is Linda from Los Angeles. When you were talking about your crucifixion and the cross coming off, the image I got was Jesus is on the cross suffering. And so perhaps, I don't know that this is even relevant, but what I feel or saw was there's so much suffering in his image that maybe that needs to be dropped. And there's a message there about something having to do with dropping that. Anyway, that's all. Thanks.
Yeah, it's a good insight, Lynn. And I don't know if Sunny, you want to comment on that, or?
I didn't understand. I was listening intently that I need to drop the suffering I'm going through.
It could be something like that. I agree with Linda in that, because I'm also a Catholic. I'm a recovered Catholic. And anyways, when you see what Linda was sharing, is that perhaps the way we were raised or how we interpreted Jesus being on the cross was to suffer for the sins of humanity. So we don't have to go through that, and having that image maybe is tweaking something in your subconscious that is in alignment with what you're doing right now. Or it can be that it's taking on a lot of suffering just from your environment, or suffering in the sense of, like pain or anxiety, or a lot of heightened emotions or crisis that's going on. And you can just think of it as, okay, that's just took on some karma and you can get rid of it. Does that make sense?
Okay, I'll process it. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's good because, see, everyone here we all come from different backgrounds. We've all had experiences in life, and we've all been on the spiritual path where we're trying to find out all the secrets behind everything that we've studied or we've been exposed to. And we want to get the juice, we want to get the essence of it. And then we want to know how to implement it in our everyday life. So there's different layers of it that we are going to experience every now and then. And I love the way you shared that. Yeah, okay, I'll take a look at that. And that's how we should be in life. If someone says something and we don't really understand it, at least it's opened something up. And maybe next week you'll share, oh my God, I had this enlightened moment about it, or my consciousness just really aligned with what Linda said, or whatever was shared today, and this is what happened. So allow everything that you're doing in life. It's because your soul is looking for that experience. So everybody here, you've come to here because your soul wants to find something out about your life and about other people, and how to navigate this earth plane and how to relate to it, and then take it a little bit away and see how you are in your everyday life, and then come back and go again. So this is, I always say that Dr. Pillai's higher education is always the best, because he tweaks us to kind of grow into that maturity, that level of spirituality that's very practical. It's not spaced out. It's not well, I believe this and that's okay. And you just stay over there and I'll stay over here. And it's like, or conversely, you're just like, oh, everyone's one. And you're not navigating life, So just, it was a great sharing and that interaction with the two people, Sunny and Linda and myself, and everybody here who's holding the space. We're all inquiring now, whoa, where do we see that happening in our life? Where is the similarities? Where is the differences? And then it's just a note to self, and you just inquire, and then that unlocks something. That inquiry, or that just pausing and saying, yeah, you know what? I'm going to take a look at that. I don't know how I'm going to, I don't know when,